Hello everybody, and welcome back to an album review session by me, Tate. Yes, I'm back and I'm doing an album review on Machine Head's new album, Catharsis. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, please tell me how you do it. I haven't got a clue. This album comes out on the 26th and I've been able to give it a listen a few days early, so I thought I'd share with you my thoughts and feelings on my first impressions of the entire album. It's an hour long, so as an album, you're going to get your money's worth if you definitely like Machine Head and you're not sat in there for half an hour thinking, where's my £15 gone? First song, Volatile. Straight away, I'm already nodding my head as soon as Rob starts singing. Oh, fuck the world. Bang, straight back into the guitar riffs before going into the actual song. Now, when I first heard Oh, fuck the world, the vocals just sounded overproduced. It sounds too clean. It needs to have that more raw, past Machine Head kind of albums feel. Are some producers now just totally losing a certain kind of touch when it comes to producing their albums? I don't know. During parts of the chorus, the clean and shouting vocals don't complement each other at all. Dead and Bloated are sung on a level par with both sets of vocals. The clean vocals need to be less prominent in this section. I do like the changing in pacing and the different riffs and the overall structure. It isn't the same song throughout and there are different parts during each section that stops the song from getting boring. It does make it feel like it is longer than the 4 minutes 38 suggests. The solo was brilliant, even though again I think it sounds overproduced and loses its essence. How this ended and went back into the chorus made me a bit like, well okay, that was a bit abrupt. The title track of the album, Catharsis. What is this pre-intro even for? Does it even need to be there? No. I, however, love the actual intro to the song itself. This is something totally new for the band. It sounds modern and experimental. There's piano, orchestral and choir backing vocals. It really got me into the song as it built itself up ready at the actual beginning of it all. Sadly, I was taken out of it for a split second where they decided to drop in a pause just to hear Rob sing, "You're there to watch me crumble." You didn't need that. If you started off the song with that and then gone into the guitar shred, great, it would have worked. But the way you did it, it just didn't work for me. When the song did kick in, the pacing slowed, and I felt a bit like, oh, okay, well that's a bit pants. The verse didn't sound great until during the second part of it, but just as I got into that, it went straight into a similar feel as the intro, and then the shredding bit again, just before the verse. I felt let down. The song has some great parts, like in the second section of the verse and the breakdown and solo, but that's it. They would have been better used in other songs. It's technically good, but they had so many ideas and couldn't settle on one and put them all in at the same time, which ruined the bits that were actually good and they could have been their own songs. Beyond the Pale. Does this need an intro? No. Does it go at all? No. They could have been better just going straight into the riffs. And when that does start, I'm head bobbing around like a Fallout bobblehead. It's catchy and simple. The verse is just a different pacing of the intro, which is perfectly fine and transists by a brief stop, which works perfectly due to Rob singing through it. After the verse, there's a brief pre-chorus that is there to break things up, so not to make things seem so samey. That's because the chorus uses the same similar riffs as the intro and the verse. Had this not been there though, it would have sounded so samey and boring. People could have easily have switched off. The breakdown comes from the chorus well and into a solo section that flows and fades back into the chorus with ease by building it up and leaving it to hang on the last breath before it kicks into the chorus and the final few licks. California Bleeding. Nice simple intro with the guitar scales and some pitch bending building up to faint drums and a gasp of breath. There is a short riff that hangs to let Rob sing and that goes off into the verse. This would have been better suited again just to have happened and gone straight into it. It just feels like they're putting way too much into these songs than I needed. Quantity does not always mean quality. The verse itself isn't bad, and nor is the chorus. Rob's voice doesn't seem like it likes to handle trying to actually sing here, and his voice sounds like it's straining constantly during the chorus especially. It's nice to hear the bass during the breakdown, even if it's brief. You don't hear much of it through the songs, and I often think, is the bass player even there? Triple Beam. The intro works well and kicks into a dirty nu-metalcore / Machine Head of old vibe. The pitch harmonics are really cool, not like conventional ones. The verse starts off and I think it's just a bit too mellow. It's meant to be meaningful and contextual in the song's theme, which I assume is what the band were going for, but I just don't think it goes. The chorus uses that old school vibe again as I mentioned previously, but the lyrics of "when you balance life on a triple beam" just sounds ridiculous the more and more I hear it. I again get what it's meant to symbolise, but just hearing it sung, I think it sounds silly. The breakdown towards the end is just that little bit of a nu metal / hip hop / rap sound. You'll get what I mean if you listen to it. It's just Rob with one bit of a guitar in the background and him singing. He's working to his strengths better during this song. The song starts with clapping. Okay, let's see where this is going. Drums build up louder and faster and then bang! Straight into the instinctive guitar sound of Machine Head. Super fast paced and with lyrics where Rob does well with his multi-talented singing ability. We're looking at you, nu metal Machine Head. With a catchy chorus, this all works well together. Getting to the breakdown, it builds up and up until it drops those dirty grunge beats with that classic Machine Head signature pitch harmonics. It all goes quiet in order to build up the song to that last section to climax the whole thing off. Soft lyrics start, and then some violins, which actually work well. And the same drums from the start, bang, the chorus is back in again. This all leads up to the final section where we hear that changing in pace near the end to tell you we're nearly at the home straight. I really liked this. Likely the most fun I personally have had with a Machine Head song in ages. Great pacing, good riffs, drum and bass. Each section serves its purpose well, and even the quiet section thrown in to build up that momentum to the final act of the song doesn't seem out of place and not just slapped in the middle of it. They ended the section before in the right way, so you the listener knew that something different was around the corner. The only gripe I have with the song is the way it ended. It was abrupt. You'll understand if you hear it. I can only describe it as the sentence starts and then stops halfway through, and that's it. Everything stops. Vocal, instruments. I'd rather they have ended it finishing the whole thing off with the instruments together and just let it fade out. But that's only my personal preference anyway. Bastards. Okay, I was intrigued by this intro. I thought, is this Machine Head? Interesting guitar effect on here? It made me sit up and listen to what was going to happen. The acoustic guitar kicks in and Rob starts singing. It made me think of something Corey Taylor would sing in the same kind of fashion. He works well trying to sing this in a way which is really surprising. The entire song itself was just not expected after the first 6 heavy-hitting tracks. You start to hear an organ with an acoustic guitar. As this builds up a phase, you're sat thinking, what's going to happen next? The electric guitar comes into play with some power chords and it gets faster and faster. It finally kicks into what I can only describe as a punk song. I'm on the edge of my seat, eyes wide open. This is fantastic! The breakdown wouldn't go astray in a Dropkick Murphys song. They succeed so well in this, I applaud them for it. This is my favourite song so far.